Welcome to another NY Tech Ed Hangout. This is the first one in a while. We're actually here with John Calvert, who we were all lucky enough to see at the Hudson Valley Google Summit. He had a standing room only crowd in his presentation, and we talked to him afterwards to ask if he would share some of what he did during that session. So without further ado, John's from Scarsdale. John, take it away.
Hey, yeah, no, thanks a lot, Jesse. I'm excited to be here. It's cool. So I think you guys wanted to talk a little bit about the Twitter moderation forum. We've got some teachers that are using it here, and I know there's a bunch of teachers around that are using it elsewhere. And you know what? It's amazing to me. It's actually really easy to set up, and it provides a way for your students to get their to publish to your class Twitter feed and have it go through the teacher so that it's moderated. And it really is. I timed it. It takes me 12 minutes to set up a feed from scratch. So it's not like an overly complex thing to do, but it does use a couple of different services. So if you're not familiar with those services, it can seem like it's more complicated than it is. But yeah, so do you want me to just go over the steps or talk about?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, great.
Screen share and show, yeah.
Yeah, I can screen share. We can go from scratch. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go into Google Drive, and I'm going to create a simple Google form. Hold on. So this is it. So I've got a simple form, and my simple form is just going to have one question. So it's going to say, I'm going to label it exit tweet. Maybe I put I put in the form description to remind my students that they only have 150 characters, or 140 characters rather. Make your question a paragraph text, and then click Advanced Settings. So data validation is actually a really powerful and easy way of tweaking your forms. And we're going to turn data validation on under Advanced Settings. And we're going to make the maximum character count 140 characters. And if they go over that, we'll just give them a little error message that says, remember to keep under 140 characters, edit your tweet. Okay, it's going to be a required question. Hit done. Now your Twitter form, your exit tweet form, is actually done. So I'm going to go to my, before you go to your spreadsheet, make sure you're going to collect the username, just so you keep those tweets accountable. And if you're doing this from a domain, which you probably are, you're going to require them to sign into the form before they can send out a tweet. So I'm going to click View Responses. It's going to open up my new spreadsheet. Now the only thing I have to do is add a column for moderation. So we'll do that. In column D, I'll just type in moderate. Now I have to install Formule, that New Vision's script by Andrew Stillman. So Formule is an add-on, so I'm going to click on Add-ons and go to Get Add-ons, and I'm going to do a search for Formule, one word. And the beautiful thing about Formule is it's a great way of sending a thank you email or something like that to somebody who submits a form for you, but it's also a way to sort of liberate data from a spreadsheet and use other services, and that's what we're going to do today. So I install Formule, and once it's installed and I grant it permission, I can go to Add-ons, Formule, Email, Merge Utility, and launch it. And then we're going to go step by step through setting up our Formule. It's actually pretty simple. So once that loads up, we're not going to set up a form trigger, which you would normally do if you want like if you were doing a thank you email, you would want the thank you email to be sent as soon as the person submitted your form. But we're not doing that. What we need is just to turn on a time trigger. So you don't have to worry about it, so that this action is going to take place every hour without you having to run Formule. And I'm going to set my timer to be an hour timer that runs every hour. And then at the top, I will select my sheet. In this case, the sheet that was created by the form responses 1. Okay, so I got my trigger, I got my form responses set, and then I go to my template. Okay, so we're only doing one email here. It's the email that gets sent to Twitter. And then I'm going to set my merge condition to be the moderate column. So here you've got a choice. Personally, I like making it not null, which means that if I put anything in that moderate column, it's automatically going to send that student's tweet to the class feed. But you can be more specific. You could say yes or Y or moderate. If you're more specific, then you've got to be really exact about what you type into that column. So if you capitalize the yes, you need to capitalize it in the column. And that becomes the trigger to send the tweet one way or the other. The nice thing about setting up this moderation condition is you as the teacher can then edit the student's tweets, or have the student even edit their own tweets before they get sent out. And I have teachers that will initialize tweets by the student that wrote them, so that there is some recognition by mom and dad when the tweet comes through on their phone. Okay, so once that's set up, we'll say Save Template Settings. And do Next Edit Template. All right. Now, ultimately, what this email is going to do, it's going to go to a Gmail account. I actually set up a special Gmail just for this service. So if my Twitter handle is QRS Technology, at QRS Technology, I'll make my Gmail account qrstechnology@gmail.com if I can, if it's available, just to keep it simple. But I'll create a Gmail account just for this system because it's going to get bombarded by student tweets. So I don't want my personal Gmail to be bombarded that way. You're going to put in that special Gmail account that you created just for this system. In your subject line. So my subject line, I'll usually put in like the timestamp when it was tweeted, and I might even put in the username of the student, which allows me to search for it pretty easily inside of the Gmail account. And then I'll click inside the body, and I'll click the field that we used for the tweet. In this case, what do you want to tweet about today? So once I've got all of those set up, I'll say preview and send all. Now I won't send anything because I didn't moderate anything, but now my Google side of this system is completely done. Now what I have to do is I have to set up the middleman, the person between the Google Sheet and Twitter. And our middleman is if this then that. So I'm now going to go to if this then that, so ifttt.com. And I'll log into my account. Once I log into my account, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a recipe for, it's actually, I think it's the St. Bernard, hold on, yeah, St. Brendan's College. I've linked this on my blog, so you can get to it from there. But if you go, it's Gmail to Twitter is the name of the recipe, and it's by St. Brendan's College. There's a bunch of recipes that will allow you to send an email from Gmail directly to Twitter. The thing I like about this one is it goes by the send address. So some of them go by subject line, so certain subject lines will automatically be sent to Twitter. In this case, any email that comes from my school Gmail account will be sent to Twitter if it comes to this special Gmail account. So it provides a layer of security, because my personal Gmail, or my school's Gmail, has to be the Gmail that launches this Twitter application. There's no other way to send a tweet out unless it comes from my account. So I'll click Add Recipe, and when you do that, it's going to ask you for permission, because it's basically going to say, all right, I need access to your Twitter account, and I need access to your Gmail account. So you've actually got to be signed in to your class Twitter feed, and you should also be signed into your special Gmail account, the Gmail account that you used for that you're sending your form mule emails to. So in my case, it was qrstechnology@gmail.com. And that's it, actually. Once you set up your recipe, it's going to run every hour. When a tweet comes into the exit tweet form from your students, it'll go to the spreadsheet. When it goes into the spreadsheet, you can add something into the moderate column on the student submissions that you want to get sent to Twitter. And then within the hour, it'll automatically get sent via if this then that to Gmail, and then Gmail, actually through Formule, it'll get sent to your Gmail account, and then through if this then that, it'll be sent to your Twitter account. And that's how it works.
So John, if the teacher does not moderate, the tweet does not go out?
That's right. Yeah, you got to, the teacher, and that's, and that works for some teachers. Other teachers who have this set up that I work with, they don't check it often. So it's less effective because, they'll check it like once a week, and those tweets are now old, right? So you can set up your form, your spreadsheet to email you when tweets come through. But the teacher needs to go into this moderate column and fill it out, whether it's yes or whatever. In my case, I used not null. So anything I put in there, it's going to moderate that row and send it out to my to that special Gmail account.
So it's by design that you, because these are for elementary students, it's by design that there's no indication of the student name or anything like that.
It is by design, but the nice thing is you can edit before you moderate, right? So what a lot of my teachers do is they'll put in the student's initials, and if you're a member of that class, you know who JC is.
Right.
So there's less, you can make it accountable and give attribution.
If teachers do mass moderating of the spreadsheet, meaning like they moderate 15 tweets at once, let's say.
Yeah.
And when if this then that recipe runs, it's just going to basically tweet out 15 things in blast.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. It doesn't slow it down. I mean, but you're in control of that. So if you don't want to, send out 15 tweets at one shot,
maybe moderate it.
Moderate it, yeah.
Do you find that teachers are using the fact that, well, I guess they're controlling when the kids are going on to put those exit tweet pieces in?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, you know what? I have teachers.
I was wondering if they were using Drive at all to basically say, okay, the documents popped up. My responses document is now popped up to the top of my recent documents. Now I know I have to go in there and moderate it.
Yeah, you know what? I've got teachers that's pretty much exactly what they do. When they see that form or that spreadsheet has been modified in their Google Drive, they can click on it and they can start moderating whatever student tweets came through. It's interesting because, one of our teachers, I'll screen share again, show you how it looks.
John, can I ask you a question while you're looking for that?
Yeah.
Are teachers giving students like a guided question in terms of what they're going to tweet, or is it like they could just tweet about anything?
It depends on the teacher. So in some situations, there's a prompt. You know, they want them to do like an exit ticket after their math lesson.
Right.
In other situations, like we've got a one-to-one with Chromebooks in 4th and 5th grade, so it becomes in those classes it's a little bit more. It's more free, so students will tweet as they have something to tweet about. So it's not 24 tweets at the same time. It's I just discovered this interesting thing, and then they go to their Twitter form and they send the tweet out. So in this case, you've got this list of this. This is Mr. Leibowitz's class, and you've got tweets that he's doing clearly with the pictures, and then right in the middle you'll have some reflection about the field trip they just did by this student SD, right? And we go down. There's more tweets from the teacher, and then there's some tweets from the kids, right?
So ultimately, the parents are following the teacher's class.
The parents are following the teacher's feed. That's right. That's right. And then this feed gets fed into a list that we have for all of our teachers that are tweeting, and then we've got like the Quaker Ridge list. So, and that's the feed that we have on our webpage, and it's the feed that we have in our lobby on the lobby TV. So it has all 19 teachers or 20 teachers who are tweeting kind of just go into that list feed.
And how many teachers in each of your schools are actually using this?
This system?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I can't speak for the other schools.
Your school, like, I mean, is it half of the teachers, quarter of the teachers, a handful, like?
My school has 5 teachers that are doing moderated tweets out of the 20 teachers that are tweeting. But we don't have teachers. We only have 4th and 5th grade teachers doing it, doing the moderated tweets. They're the ones in the Chromebook classrooms.
Right.
We don't have any K-3 teachers yet doing moderated tweets.
Okay, and then did they go through like a staff development, professional development with you, and that's how they learned how to do it?
That's right. Yeah, we have a difference. We have a sort of unique opportunity here where we have a 6-day cycle, A through F, and then every other 6-day cycle, we call it a 1-to-1 cycle, and I have a schedule where I meet with teachers during their preps during that 1-to-1 cycle. And then we do basically personalized professional development on whatever needs to happen. We plan the next unit. We talk about ways that questions that they have about technology in their classroom, and it's during those 1-to-1 cycles that we set up the Twitter feed.
That's great. I wonder, John, is there some kind of application for this for, let's say, a school, a shared, like on a teacher level, if a school building wanted to have a particular Twitter account and make it available for teachers, would you just move this level up and just use the same form, but as for teachers, and have the principal moderate the tweets?
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. You absolutely could do that. Absolutely. In fact, you could even set it up so that, I guess you could set it up so that the Twitter feed is even available to parents, and not have you have to sign in, and then because it's still being moderated, so somebody could tweet to the school's feed if they go to like the concert, oh, I saw the concert, love that last number, amazing job, and then it would still be moderated by the principal. That's a really interesting idea.
And I'm sorry, could you just cover again how the images were done?
The images are done by the teacher. So the teacher, that's the teacher's Twitter feed. So you could do, if you had, really sophisticated kids, they could actually, use a link to like a Google Drive image or something like that. As long as you have the link in the tweet that you submit through the form, it will come through as a pick in Twitter. But we don't do that. So that teacher has the Twitter app on his phone, and So he's tweeting himself while the students are using the same class Twitter feed via the form.
Okay.
Yeah, the only problem I could see with that link piece is that if you're capping the field at 140 characters, it's not going to know to shorten the URL.
The picture.
Yeah, I wonder if that's true. Like, I wonder if Twitter, you know how Twitter automatically recognizes links and shortens it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the form caps it.
The form will cap it, yeah. So
Or
you'll
we'll cap it.
Let me get this, guys. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's workarounds to all that, right? Because you could always, you know that, is it like 19
No, actually, I'm in a video conference.
URL too? You could always have it like if the URL field is populated, like if a kid puts a link into a separate field, you could always put logic to have it subtract the maximum number of tweets, so the conditional logic will then reflect, it'll modify the maximum number of characters.
That's advanced. That's advanced forms.
It's advanced forms, but it would work.
I didn't catch you. What'd you say?
I was saying you could always make like, so you have a field for the tweet, you have a field for a URL or something, and if that field wasn't null, like let's say someone puts a hyperlink in that URL field, then it'll just subtract 19 from the 140 and cap it there, and this way you have the space to add the tweet at the end into what needs to be moderated. So
That would totally work.
there's a lot of ways around it.
That would totally work.
You're
Yeah.
saying every teacher won't know how to use conditional logic in their speech?
Well.
101 stuff here.
Create the template and then put it on Teachers Pay Teachers, and they'll pay you for it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not a fan of Teachers Pay Teachers.
There's a lot of teachers that are, though. It's very interesting.
There are. My wife loves Teachers Pay Teachers. I just
Elementary school teachers love that site.
they really do. I just feel like it's again. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I'm conflicted about it.
Yeah. No, I'm about sharing. Sharing without having to pay is better for me.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
Right?
nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong if you want to earn a little extra on Teachers Pay Teachers.
Yeah, no. But I mean, I'm sure someone would pay for that, because if they don't have that mindset to figure it out,
Yeah.
why pay for a template that's already done? That was my point.
You're so right. You're so right.
Yeah. This is great. I'm going to have to try it.
Yeah, this is John. This is really awesome.
It's so simple. I mean, it sounds. I hope it. I didn't. I hope I explained it well. It really is very simple, and I've got step-by-step directions on EdTech Tofu, so you can always go there. And
What's the name of your blog, John?
it's edtechtofu.blogspot.com.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got all the step-by-step. So it really is. It takes 12 minutes beginning to end. You know what? It's just have those accounts set up. Have that Gmail account that's specific to this system set up beforehand, and it's all really smooth.
This is great. Thanks.
This
Yeah.
is awesome, John. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have fun. If you guys have any questions about it, or if anybody you know has questions about it, just send me a note on Twitter or keep.
And what's your Twitter handle for anybody that watches?
It's jcalvert4, and I'd be more than happy to help.
I did have one question. So you have one account for the whole school. Everyone's tweets populate that account, because ultimately the if this then that recipe will filter out by teacher name specifically, by teacher email address.
We use a well, I mean that was Jen's idea. I think it's a really good one. But we use a Twitter list for Quaker Ridge. So we've got all 20 teachers in the Twitter list.
So the families just follow the list.
Yeah, and then we embed the list into.
Oh, I meant for the form when you have it feeding. So the email address you're creating in Gmail that the form will feed to, all the teachers' different forms feed one Gmail account.
No, I actually set up a form for them. I mean, a Google account for them.
For
So,
each of them.
for each of them. So that each.
Okay, that was my question.
You know,
Okay.
'cause because you never actually go to the Google account like that. It's a utility just for this system.
Gotcha.
So we set up a Google account so that the form mule will send the emails to that, and you might get like Mr. like one of our teachers will have 150, 200 tweets, and those are they'll actually hide the rows in the spreadsheet, so they don't have to keep scrolling down. So after they moderate a bunch of tweets, they'll just hide them so that the most recent tweets will be at the top. But you don't want 200 of those tweets and clouding up your Gmail account. That's why we create that separate one.
Right.
All right, cool.
That was awesome. Thanks so much, John.
Thanks a lot, John.
My pleasure.